Aghori is somebody covered in ashes, somebody maybe eating flesh, somebody working in a cremation ground.
They are Hindus. They are believers of Mahadev. They are Ganas. They do consume half-burnt flesh. They go for the entities who are no more, who are younger.
The Aghor path follows Devi in the form of Kali, Chinnamasta, Kamakhya, which are in their fiercest form.
Shiva hai, वो पुरुष है, but Shakti is more powerful. Aghori sadhus use shortcuts without cutting short.
Shlokas and mantras are very, very high vibrational formulas that have been given to us. What is the correct way of chanting the Gayatri Mantra?
Om Bhu, Om Bhuvaha, Om Swaha, Om Maha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam, Om Tat Saviturvare Enyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat.
Maha Mrityunjay mantra is actually chanted to win over your fear of death.
It's nasal.
Welcome back to another episode of Soul Safar with Bhaav. On this episode, I'm speaking with Mayur Kalbag, who is a transformational coach, an author, and a poet. On this episode, we've covered a lot of ground. We've spoken about Aghor traditions, we've spoken about Devi sadhana, we've spoken about Mudras, and the correct way of chanting mantras. This episode is a bomb of knowledge, and I'm so sure that you're going to learn so much from it. Enjoy. Mayur, welcome to Soul Safar with Bhaav. I want to tell you that this episode is very, very special to me because I think it's one more way that I'm coming out and showing the world how my mind functions and what has been fascinating me all my life. I never spoke about my fascination of Tantra or the Aghor path with people. I didn't share it with people. But I have to tell you that I've picked up your book and I've read it. And since that day, I knew we'd connect somehow, somewhere. And today you're here on Soul Safar with Bhaav. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on this episode. And I know that there's a lot that's going to come in through you, through me. That this is a special connection. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much. If you allow me, I always believe that anything that starts with a good vibrational chant, it's like, half the battle is won. Well begun is half done is what they say. So can I be allowed by you to chant a shloka to begin this safar?
You don't even have to ask.
Okay, no, I just wanted to seek your permission.
Please go ahead.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Shri Bhavani Shankaraya Namaha Om Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam Varsishthante Vasat Rishiganaihi Avratam Brahmanishthaihi Acharyendrang Karakalita Chinmudrama Anandamurtim Swatma Ramam Mudita Vadanam Dakshinamurti Mide Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtayai Namaha Dakshina Murtayai Namaha Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Now I feel genuinely comfortable, childlike, and blatantly spontaneous
As it should be.
to participate in this lovely journey of Safar.
Speaking of Safar, the journey, whenever somebody on this path arrives somewhere, we have to assume that they walked 1,000 steps, 1,000 miles before that. And that's why I've called the show also Soul Safar. I'm very interested in your journey. What brought you to the Aghor path? What brought you to Tantra? I'd like you to share that with us, please.
Definitely. I'm a Chitrapur Saraswat. We speak Konkani. My native place is close to Goa, where my Kuldev is. If you heard of temples Mangeshi and Shanta Durga, that's our Kuldev and Devi. As a child, my mom would always ensure that we would be called in for the puja. As a child, when you're exposed to a puja, when you're exposed, as in you get to see the idol of Mahadev and the Devi, then you start asking questions. And the same thing happened, the asking questions happened when I went with my father to a temple opposite to my place, just close by in Matunga Road, where there was a Hanuman temple just across the colony we stayed, in Karnataka colony. And on one of the evenings of Saturday, I noticed an entity sitting outside the Maruti temple. And he was wearing only his langot, his innerwear. And he was smeared with ash. I'm talking about when I was 9 years old, so long time ago. And again, it led me to that question which I asked Dad. Interestingly, before me asking the question to my father, I was drawn to that entity. Rather than getting a bit flummoxed and scared and, wondering what to do, should I go, I was walking up to the entity because that entity was sitting outside and just in his own zone. But I went and my father called me back saying that, in a very, quite a stern voice, he said, come. I asked my dad, who's that? He said, must be a Naga Baba or an Aghori. And he said it in a way where we were just walking. He said it in a very casual way, but it stuck with me. That opened the door. It was a key to see the Aghori sitting there. At that point, I didn't know, right? My father told me it could be. But it opened up that door of wanting to know more about them. And then I did my own search and research and re-research by reading the books, by watching some things on documentaries on YouTube, including documentaries of monks, Tibetan monks, who go to the top of certain mountain peaks and live there for 3 years as part of their sadhana. Parallelly, I was also studying about the Aghori sadhus and understanding their way of worshipping Lord Shiva and how intense they are. But I also understood that they are not properly understood. Finally, I got to meet 3 Aghori sadhus. Meeting them in person, if I were to say it was an eye-opener, it will be an understatement. It was a soul opener. The soul ka safar regarding Aghori sadhus got more intense, that safar, because it reached a part of the destination which was literally sitting in front of the Aghori sadhu at that point. And I met 2 more sadhus. For good reasons, they allowed me to pose questions, and it was so important because I got to learn a lot. It's now that I'm, through many podcasts and the books, I'm able to reveal and bring out these aspects. वो तो क्या है, वो तो स्मशान भूमि में जाते हैं ना, वो वही है ना. It used to be that way, so callously described. They are Hindus, they are believers of Mahadev, they are Ganas. And they do practices, they perform certain practices, which of course will be very difficult to fathom, to understand for a normal person. But that is why the book comes out and says, if you can't understand, at least respect.
What people have been fed when you hear the word Aghori is somebody covered in ashes, somebody maybe eating flesh, somebody working in a cremation ground, but from somebody who is meant to demystify who exactly is an Aghori. Or let me say what is an Aghori, not who.
It's true. Interesting, the last part, because it's an energy in a particular form. Aghori means he or she who has developed the courage of conviction in wanting to merge with Shiva. That's a conviction. But they've developed the courage to go through darkness. Darkness is a metaphor. So it's both ways. One is the literal darkness, and the other is the darkness that is embodied by energies, negative emotions. They go through all that. When you talk about what they eat or what they drink, when people see all that, what they don't understand is that in what they eat, as people have been fed with, pun intended, they eat food irrespective of whatever it is, even if it isn't cooked. Their sadhana has given them so much of strength, physiologically, internally, that they're able to digest that. On the point you made about what people think, in terms of consumption of human flesh, do they consume flesh? They don't eat, they do consume half burnt flesh, only and only as a part of their Tantra and Yantra sadhana. Aghori sadhana is very different from the sadhanas we do. Bhakti, mantra yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, raja yoga. Their yoga is very different, almost like a shortcut. When they pull out the half burnt, some specific parts of that dead being, they believe that when they consume, they also inherit or incorporate or infuse within them those energies, which they use for their meditation. That is the connect. Right. It's part of an aspect of their sadhana where the word is sent that on this particular day they would need a body. And that is when it is done in the cremation, at the cremation ground. When it's burning, the pyre is burning, they will with a stick pull some parts which are consumable and some parts which they understand that they have very strong energies. ये भी पता चला है कि they go for the entities who are no more, who are younger, not children, but young, adolescent adults. Why? Is because there is tremendous energy in them because their life has been cut, as in metaphorically, they're no more. So the Aghoris will try and bring that or absorb that energy so that it will help them to do more sadhana.
When you say that they consume flesh of an adolescent being,
Adolescent dead being.
Adolescent, yes, adolescent dead being. The first question in my head was ask him why. But the answer immediately came, and I want you to confirm that, is because again, we are electromagnetic beings. Every cell of our body is charged to create the beings that we are. So to grow, there's a certain electric and magnetic charge that's being produced in the cell. And I believe that till a certain age, that charge is maximum because, for you to become an adult, you're constantly gathering charge. So I feel that that's the part of your life where it has maximum charge to grow and develop.
Absolutely. For example, if you heard of the word metabolism, in the younger entities, the metabolism is highest.
Right.
And as we grow, it diminishes, it comes down, right?
Right.
The metabolism rate is what it said. The electric aspect of a human being is very deep. When they consume the entities, they also allow those energies to connect with their electromagnetic pulses that are there inside. We are, Bhavesh, speaking about this. You must have realized that I'm taking my time to respond because our viewers should understand that it is not a 1 plus 1 equal to 2 question. This is something very, very deep and different. Yeah. And I'm happy that you're awakening these questions, because whatever little or whatever I have grasped from my observations and experiences, I'm putting it in front of you, and I'm sure that the audience, the people who are watching now, they will think about it.
Yeah. We've spoken about how we've been fed with misinformation.
Yeah.
I'm somebody who likes to look at both sides of the story. There are also many people who are pretending to be Aghoris.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends went to the Mahakumbh, apart from taking the Snan, to hang out with Aghoris. How do you differentiate between a real Aghori and something that's just pretense?
That's a very good question, only because it's so important that all of us understand that if there's sunshine, then there is a shadow also. Frankly speaking, most of the people who one would claim to have met or seen as Aghoris are either not, I was going to say fake Aghoris. That's one aspect of those Aghoris who are not Aghoris, but they look like. There are others who, metaphorically speaking, are white belts, but they pretend as black belts.
Right.
वैसे काफी हैं, almost 80 to 90%. Are they Aghoris? Yes. Are you a karate player? Yes. But are you a black belt? No, but I show that I'm a black belt. But I am technically into karate. So you cannot say he's not an Aghori, Baba, but he has to reach a level.
Right.
How do you? Question, how do you? First is make yourself strong in your own spiritual strength and your spiritual pursuits by reading, by chanting stotrams, by practicing pranayam, by doing the repetition of the mantra. There are two mantras types. One is the Guru mantra, which is initiated by the Guru. That may or may not happen. That's your destiny. But you can chant the ones which can be chanted aloud, like Maha, Mrityunjay mantra, Gayatri Mantra, Om Namah Shivaya mantra. When you do all this, you make your spiritual maturity rise to a level where you will be able to understand what is fake and what is genuine. Also observe through your ears and not only through your eyes. For example, when you go to a Kumbh Mela and you see some entity that is called an Aghori sadhu, listen to what they say, how they say. Is their focus on spirituality or is their focus on some other aspects? I mean, the first thing they'll try to assess is, are you willing to pay? Aghori sadhus are not interested.
Yeah, because they're moving away from material.
Exactly.
The reason why they're sitting in a cremation ground is because they don't want anything to do with the material world.
उनका एक ही है लक्ष्य. They just want to do Shiva Prapti.
Right.
That energy that people understand as
Shiva.
Mahadev, Shiva, to which we put a form. That energy they understand, but they want to feel it.
Yeah.
And that's why they only meditate. Money is important, yes, but when it comes from your side to offer it as a dakshina, please do. But when somebody asks for it and sees business in that, I personally don't see that as completely genuine.
Also, when we speak about Aghoris or Aghor sadhana, it's mainly linked to Shiva, but I also know that Devi is, or Shakti, or Prakriti as we know her, is also a very integral part of the path.
Yes.
Would you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, I'm also again very glad that you bring this up because the whole aura about Aghori sadhus is that it's all male dominated. It's not.
Right.
Aghori sadhus, they are completely soaked and immersed in the vibrations of Mahadev, but they understand that Mahadev is nothing else but Shiva Shakti together.
Right.
In fact, a lot of Aghori sadhus go to Kamakhya Devi. It's a Shakti Peeth.
Yeah.
Some of the chantings are Devi shlokas because Devi is Shakti.
Right.
Shiva hai, or Purush hai, but Shakti is more powerful. So they give equal, if I can use the word, devotional importance to both. And that's how they feel that they're on the right path. They're getting blessed by both.
This is also the Advaita philosophy, where Shiva and Shakti are actually one.
Exactly.
Consciousness that holds the energy within
Yes.
itself.
Yes.
Aghoris, or the Aghor path, follows Devi in the form of Kali, Chinnamasta, Kamakhya, which are in their fiercest form.
Correct.
And these are the forms that are associated with power, death, ego dissolution, which most general practices shy away from or they avoid. Why is it that the Aghor path worships the most fiercest form of Shakti?
My answer to this question will be a bit more simple and concise. If I were to take you to the top of a temple, and it's a winding road across or around that particular mountain, okay, that's the path we follow.
Right.
But if I were to be the Aghori sadhu and you want to reach faster, he'll take you through up straight, a steeper path, a more arduous journey upstairs. Devi Shaktis that you mentioned, including Kamakhya, they are the paths which are much more stronger, much more difficult,
Right.
but far more shorter. So Aghori sadhus use shortcuts without cutting short.
You've been bringing up Kamakhya so often, and I've been there last year. I have to tell you, this happened so instinctively when I went to Kamakhya. Generally, when you go to a Shakti Peeth or you go to a temple, you're praying for something. You go and ask for something. But interestingly, when I went to Kamakhya, the first thought came was don't ask for anything. So what I said when I went there, when I went to the main yoni, all I said was that you know what I need, do whatever you need to do. I had gone thinking of 10 things that I want to ask, but the first thing, it was a message that don't ask, and I surrendered to her.
Yeah.
And this is a tip for our viewers: when you ask for something, you are drawing a boundary
Yes.
within the infinite possibilities.
Yes.
If I had asked for help me get rid of this grief that I'm going through right now, or let me connect to my mother or something, she would not be able to do what she needed to do for me. So
Right.
when you go to a temple, don't ask for anything specific, don't limit what you can receive, just go and surrender to the Shakti.
Right.
Or to whichever god that you're going to visit.
True. We are asking for things which no god or goddess, no energy can give you in specific.
Right.
कि मेरे बच्चे का 10th में उसको 90 marks आने दो, let him get, please make him get 90 marks, then I will do this for you. It's not a transaction.
Yeah.
So to the people who want to go, ask, because see, you Bhaavesh, some of us have understood that it's no point asking, it is limitless. Then ask for one thing, and I say to all the viewers and to us also, ask for the strength. That's it. In whichever, in whatever, in wherever, whenever it is required that I need to be strong, awaken that strength within me.
Right. Yeah.
That is enough. And it's not like the Devi will say, okay, lay low, strength and all. The best way to not transact, but to interact with a god or a goddess, which the Aghori sadhus do, is you practicing in any way. For example, chanting stotrams. Take a sankalpa that every day, whether it's rain or sunshine, whether it's office or no office, every day after my bath, I will chant a particular shloka. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. That's enough. Then go do your work.
Yeah.
But chant it with a lot of energy. That is enough for you to feel and awaken that strength. If you would do this chanting, not this particular, any chanting, every day, without fail, after your bath, without you knowing, your whole perspective to life will change. Your way of dealing with people will change, for the better. Your way of dealing with failure will change. Ultimately, you will come to a point where you say, I become mentally more strong. So, ask for strength. I ask for wisdom. When I prostrate to my guru at my guru's feet, I only say, I need Swamiji your blessings. That's it. Right. For what? No.
Yeah.
Just bless me.
Yes,
That's it.
Yeah. Coming back to Aghoris, I'm very interested in knowing that when they sit in their sadhanas and when they have these visions or they encounter these entities, do they view them in human forms or do they view them as pure energetic beings? Because as human beings, we are so accustomed to limiting the
True.
God, Shiva consciousness or Shakti consciousness or God in a limited form as a body.
Correct.
But how does an Aghori really see and encounter
They
them?
practice sadhana in that or through that or while they're into it. They, if I can use the word, they use receptors. They open the receptors, as in they're open to receiving. In mauna, in silence, they communicate without any sound.
Right.
So the energy is as beautifully shaped as electricity. Because you can't see electricity.
Yeah.
But there is electricity.
Yeah.
Which is why today we are able to do all this.
I also think that we are almost like we are in kindergarten, where you need to see a form to understand it.
True.
And they are at a much intermediate level where through the form they experience the form.
We are lucky we are in school. There are others who are outside the school.
Yeah.
So, bhai, aise hota hai yaar.
Yeah.
We are all part of that spiritual evolution.
Right. Also, this is a reel that popped up on my Instagram the other day. There must have been a traveler who found a cave and they broke open the cave and they saw an Aghori do in intense sadhana, sitting there for God knows how many years.
Of course.
And I've also read that they go into sadhana for hundreds of years at a stretch.
Yes.
You know,
I mentioned
hundreds
that in my book also.
Yes, hundreds of thousands of years even.
Yes.
Now, this brought up a very important question in my mind. When you're sitting in a sadhana for thousands of years, you're really not interacting with the material world or the physical world around you.
Yeah.
But this is something even a soul can do. The soul can also continue to evolve without needing a form. Why does that soul come into this limited body to then do such a rigorous sadhana? It can do it even as a formless soul, right?
True. In our pursuit to evolve, grow, go deeper spiritually, we need the body. That is why yogis, advanced yogis I know of, they have reached a point where they can control their own internal mechanics. So when you do a japa, there is called nyas, karanyas, hridyadi nyas. Nyas means you embed the mantra into your body. As a soul, it becomes difficult. You need the body to do the mudras. Mauna vyakhya prakatita parabrahma tattvam yuvanam varsisthante vasat rishiganaihi avratam brahmanishtaihi आचार्येन्द्रं करकलित चिन्मुद्रमानंदमूर्तिम. So chinmudrama. Now when you do this, it represents wisdom. A very real-time example, the Shaolin monks, when they practice their martial arts, whether it's karate or anything else, kung fu, they need the body, no?
Correct.
When I want to do pranayam, I need my lungs to breathe in and breathe out, which is why the body is required. It's an instrument. So you need your physicality to help you get more immersed in your sadhana.
Right. Shlokas and mantras are very, very high vibrational formulas that have been given to us to raise our vibrations, to maybe align with higher vibrational beings as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I know that they can only be awakened when they are chanted in a particular manner.
Correct.
What is the correct way of chanting the Gayatri Mantra?
I'll tell you. गायत्री मंत्र में पहला जो important चीज है, not most, but the important thing is your posture. Your spinal cord should be straight. You cannot be just saying it because you're supposed to. Your posture with your back straight means your breathing is properly deep and aligned. Your spinal cord being erect is very important. All your energies are in alignment, like this. Even if you keep a pillow on the floor and sit on its edge, is very, very good because it automatically makes your back straight. Then the chanting. Instead of Om Bhur, no. A deep breath in. Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Om Tatsaviturvare Enyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. And I want all our viewers to understand it because I want them to practice it. Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Om Tatsaviturvare Enyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhu, Om Bhuvaha, Om Swaha, Om Maha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam, Om Tatsaviturvare Enyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. This is the full Gayatri Mantra. But saying it as Om Bhur Bhusva is absolutely fine. But saying it like this is the way.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here right next to you and I could feel an electricity run through my aura, my energy field while
Seriously?
you were... Yeah, I swear. I could feel that happen. I noticed that you elongated the... Dhimahi. And Prachodayat. It's not Prachodayat.
And it's not even Ata. It's Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. The tongue just falls.
Right.
Ata. There's no exertion.
Right.
It's this way of chanting that will make all your cells and your nerves and your entire organ system inside to say, wow, I can feel it now.
Yeah.
You feel charged. That's why you felt the electricity.
Yeah. And also I've read that these mantras were written so that because of your breathing pattern, they massage your organs in a different way. That was the actual purpose of these mantras coming apart from raising your vibrational frequency.
In fact, I'm leading you to another question, but I'll pose it myself to myself.
Thank you for being my co-host.
Is about the Maha Mrityunjay mantra.
That was my next question.
So please.
No, do it for me.
Okay. The Maha Mrityunjay mantra. How should it be chanted? Firstly, don't worry about speed. It's not a mantra that is... There are mantras, like the one I've been initiated into and all. they're supposed to be very fast, robustly fast. And that is what creates the impact. This mantra, Om, oh, not Om, it's Om, a bit nasal. Om, Trembakai yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhanat mrityormukshiyah mamritaat. It's more like a prayer, a mantra which is said as a mantra but with the intent of a prayer.
Right.
That take me to a point where I fall like an apple that's completely paripakva. The soul is paripakva. It not falls but rises to a point where it goes beyond life and death.
Right.
So that is the power of how you chant. If you just say Om Bhurvasam Maradhyana, ऐसे भी लोग हैं. They don't sing, but it's more like a mechanical thing.
Right.
Say it clearly. You may not say it 108 times, but say it 11 times, but say it with that intensity. Om Bhu, Om Bhuvaha, and visualize it. Visualize the energy centers. That will, honestly, Bhavesh, be a form of intense meditation.
Right. And also, I've heard now there is, again, misinformation. People think Maha Mrityunjay Mantra is for conquering death, that it's to defeat death. It was told to me when my partner was in hospital fighting for his life. And somebody told me that just keep saying the Maha Mrityunjay Mantra. But years later, I have realized that Maha Mrityunjay Mantra is actually chanted to win over your fear of death. It's not like you won't die if you chant the Maha Mrityunjay. It's the fear of death, that wall collapses.
Absolutely. So it's more holistic and more philosophical than just a mantra that will help somebody to come out of a difficult situation of health.
Right.
So you gave me one example. There's another person who gave me an example of where she told me that somebody said her mother was not well, serious. Chant Maha Mrityunjay mantra, she'll be okay. She said she chanted with complete devotion, but the mother passed away. And क्या होता ना, when you have such kind of you keep such expectations, and when it doesn't happen, then you kind of say, I will not chant anymore.
Yeah. But you know how I understand it, Mayur? Now when I look back, we think we are chanting the Maha Mrityunjay mantra to save somebody's life. But I feel because it's such a high vibrational mantra, what that soul or that entity does is it uses the energy of this mantra to break away from the fear of crossing over.
Correct.
So they use this and then they cross over, is how I look at it now. So the misconception of Maha Mrityunjay mantra karoge to death nahi hogi is the information is wrong.
Dekho, we are all vulnerable to negativity, jealousy, anger, hate, violence. उन इमोशंस का डेथ होने के लिए भी महा मृत्युंजय मंत्र helps.
Right.
Because of the vibrations, it reduces with time the typical jumping to jealousy, anger, hate. It slowly reduces it, and in its place come the positive emotions. So in that sense, the Maha Mrityunjay mantra is the victory of death over negative emotions, and therefore giving openings to new life of positive emotions.
Right. Makes sense. That's a very good way of looking at it.
Because it creates solid vibrations.
Yeah.
In how you say it, that matters.
Yeah.
If you say like a song and all, it will be good at a cosmetic level. अच्छा लगता है. अरे वाह, very good. बेटा बहुत अच्छा गाते हो आप. It's a mantra.
Right.
You know, I said that Om Nakarmana na prajaya dhane na tyage. It has got an impact on your blood circulation.
Correct.
Why they say a particular mantra or a shloka in a particular way with those intonations,
Right,
is to create that impact.
Since we are talking about mantras, we cannot not talk about the Beej Mantras.
Yes.
Can you tell our audience a little bit about Beej Mantras and how to chant them?
Yes. A Beej mantra or a Beej akshara. Mantra becomes when the aksharas come together. The Beej akshara is a syllable with like a not to wrongly use it, like a bomb. It explodes with vibrations. It's a syllable but carries tremendous energy. Is the first or one Beej akshara. Aing, Reeng. They're all aksharas which emanate strong, intense vibrations to which the body and the internal dynamics of the body they respond. When I say dynamics, I'm encapsulating all the aspects of the body.
And it's called Beej. That is a
Root,
seed.
yes, the seed.
The seed.
The seed. From which the plant comes out. No?
Right.
So it's at the root.
Right.
Roots also come out. So it's a seed. You're right. Beej akshara.
Beej akshara. And what is interesting is I noticed while you were chanting, now you didn't say reem.
Yep.
You said ring. There is a g at the end of it.
Actually, it's not even, you're right to an extent. It's not reem. It's nasal. And it goes for all the Beej aksharas.
Right.
It's nasal.
Right.
Because the nasal vibration has got much more intensity than when you say Om with the M at the end.
Right.
Same thing with the Reem. Of course, while we are talking as a word, we say it as Reem. But when we chant it, it comes as Reem, not Ring. No, I mean, I can't even say it. Ring, Aing, Shring, Roong, Lung, not lung. Lung, Shang. The nasal vibrations will create far more of an impact in your body and on your mind, especially on the soul.
Right.
And that's the power of the Beej aksharas. As you chant it in a collective, it becomes a Beej mantra.
Now you've chanted the Gayatri Mantra for us, you've chanted the Maha Mrityunjay Mantra for us, you've chanted the Beej aksharas for us. It makes me think that if some of our viewers can't chant them, does even listening to them help change their vibrational frequency?
If you listen, but to the chantings chanted in the right way. If you hear the Gayatri Mantra being sung, it will not have any negative impact, but it will be neutral.
It won't be potent.
It won't be potent. At a cosmetic level, you'll feel good. It's a feel-good factor.
Right.
But if you want to have the impact, then listen to authentic chantings.
Right.
And you get it on YouTube or in wherever. You can avail of it.
Right.
I just take one courageous step ahead and say, listening to effectively chanted stotrams, shlokas, mantras, all is fantastic. But chanting it yourself is beyond. Sky is also not the limit. Because I can feel when I'm chanting here.
Right. Yeah, I can feel it too. Yeah.
So, listening absolutely makes a difference, but let that be a precursor to you actually chanting. It.
We are talking about sound frequencies and what they can do.
Yes.
We have a Shankh lying in front of us, and I'm going to use this opportunity for you to tell me the importance of and the significance of the vibrational frequency of the Shankh.
So, Aghori sadhus, when I was able to meet and talk to them, one of the questions I had, because I'd seen them, so I'd asked them, do they use it for something? The Aghori sadhus said to me that for them, it is a vibration that symbolizes the beginning of something. So before they start a kriya, they play a conch. They conclude a kriya they play a conch.
Okay.
Including Mahabharata. It's
Yeah.
symbolized by Krishna.
Right. Playing
the conch, saying that the beginning of the war. So let me play it.
Yes, please.
So they say play it 3 times, okay? It's a fantastic exercise to the lungs also, but it's one of the most ancient and spiritually vibrant vibrations of vibrant sounds you'll ever hear. I got to know this from a person who lives in my village, that when you play the conch, the vibrations up to a radius of 5 to 6 feet will decimate all the bacterium or the negative things that are there around. It completely it decimates them, it destroys them, kills them.
Right.
That's why we feel very pure when we listen to it.
Yeah.
Even chantings, you feel divine. Why? In a particular way when you chant, is because these vibrations, whether it's the Tibetan bell or the bell that you play in the temple or the conch or the stotrams, it increases tremendous divinity within you. And that can be a great catalyst to meditate.
Right. Now, as a parting question, we've spoken about mantras, we've spoken about mudras. For somebody who's a beginner, if they want to start with a mantra or a mudra, what should they start? Where should they start?
Start with, in terms of the mudra of wisdom, chin mudra. It's good to start like this, but when you sit either on a firm surface, which is on the floor, or on a sofa, but preferably not on a soft surface. Keep your hands not extended, but in a chin mudra. So this is chin mudra. This is the mudra where you see Swami Vivekananda seated in. It should be loose. What can you chant or mantra that you can practice will be as simple as in 3 levels, okay, or 3 formats. One is the Vaikari, which is actually saying it. The mantra is Om Namah Shivaya. Short hai, crisp hai, powerful hai. Why powerful? It's got the Beej Akshara and it's got the Shiva in it.
Correct.
And Namah is the prayer, Namaha. So just sit like this and say 11 times. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. You can also do, if you want to slowly, activate the Beej Aksharas. Om Aing Hring Shring. Take a deep breath in. Gurubhyo Namaha. This you can also do. Om Namah Shivaya is quick, fast, powerful. You can do the Om Namah Shivaya especially as a Vaikari, like I showed you. The other is you can say it in a sound which is murmuring, like this. It enhances the speed. So in that one breath, you can say more number of times. But the more powerful one is when you do it completely as a mental vibration, like this. So I'm doing, so every movement, 1, 2, there are 4 counts in every movement. So that's how fast it is. And mental vibrations are far more powerful than the Vaikari or the murmuring.
I can't even begin to tell you how much value and knowledge you've brought today to our podcast.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Mayur, for agreeing and coming onto the podcast on Soul Safar with Bhaav, having this conversation with me,
and giving such not just knowledge and concepts, but such valuable tips to our
If
audience.
I can say as a reciprocal response, I've done a few podcasts with my Guru's blessings. The podcast with you was very similar and as deep, if not more, as what I did with Ranveer. He is also very spiritual, very eloquent, and I see you um, climbing very steadfastly the ladder, the ladder of podcasting, because the suffer that you've embarked upon of the soul, and the way you have genuinely, with a lot of nicety, humility, respectfulness, with which you have conducted yourself and you've conducted this particular podcast is Hindi mein kehte saraniya. Very, very, very happy to have come here. And as a token of my respect to you and to the entire team that's here, because of whom this podcast was genuinely a very soul suffer, a solemn suffer as well. I want to, if you don't mind, and I love to recite a small
Of course.
shloka. It's a shloka that is
Tattooed on your arm.
tattooed on my arm. It's a shloka which is a surrender to my Guru, because all this is happening only and only and only through my Guru's blessings and love and teachings.
Right.
As a token of my love for my Guru, Swami Sadyojat Shankarashram, and to say my respects to all of you, I will chant this. Om Sarvam Sada Shiva Sahasvamamaparadham Magnam Samudhara Mahatyamumaapadabdhau Sarvatmana Tava Padambujameva Dina Swaminananya Sharana Sharanangatosmi Swaminananya Sharana Sharanangatosmi Gatam papam gatam dukkham gatam daridryameva cha agata sukha sampatti punyansh tava darshanat devo data cha bhokta cha deva rupamidam jagat devo jayati sarvatra yo deva sohameva him om namah parvati patay har har mahadev. Thank you very much. I wouldn't call this a podcast only. I would call this one of my best experiences. And it's because of you, because you are very genuine from the heart, like a little bro to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I would like this to be also put in the podcast.
Of course, I will.
I'm so sure that you will agree that this was a very insightful episode. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel Soul Safar with Bhaav, because now healing has a face.